This is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do another live tarot reading for you guys here on YouTube. I decided today that I am not going to really specify like too much of a theme for this one. This one is going to kind of just, I'm going to pull some cards and just see what I kind of get for everyone. I've been trying to record a little bit earlier in the day, so a variety of time zones get to watch me read live. And the goal for today was, I have like a whole list of the things that I want to talk about. I still want to do a road less traveled pick a card reading, so I might be able to get to that today. So look for that. Maybe later on today, I'm not sure. It's a beautiful day here, so I was like, I'm just gonna, jump on and do a tarot reading. This is kind of like an example tarot reading for people that may not have watched me before or are just new to, watching YouTube, readings. And yeah, before I jump in, I do want to check my audio really quickly and see. There we go. Hopefully my audio is okay. Before I, start, I do want to tell everybody I am still offering private readings, and I'd love to, book a private reading. All you need to do is send a payment. All of that information is on my website, on my services page. It's daphne.com. You can just send a payment through PayPal if you want to do this super fast way. And then I'll take it from there. I will reach out to you to schedule, but I will need to know what time zone you're in. That's really helpful. I have clients all around the world, so it's important to know. Like when I first started reading, doing my channel, I had to get a map of the world because I did not know where different places were. So it's very important that, when you email me, just get scheduled, to tell me what time zone you're in. And if those of you who want to contribute and support me, the links to donate are in the description box. I do Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal for donations. So anybody who wants to send a donation, it's all very appreciated. And, just helps keep me going a lot. So and this video is, I just wanted to say that I am still an affiliate of Jackery, so they do solar power generators. That link is also going to be in my description box. So while I'm laying out a spread here, I will say that I'm still looking to give $30 off one of my readings to my 1,000th follower on Instagram. I had to block some people recently because they were spam. So, I've offered it to different people, but no one's actually booked it yet. So some people have said yes, they want to do it, and then I haven't heard back. So I would still honor it if someone wants to get $30 off a reading, but you have to follow me on Instagram and let me know that you're interested and send a payment for the reading. And I just wanted to remind everybody that people may not know this. Anybody who's had a reading with me before, all of your referrals, so like friends, family, they get $10 off, just so you guys know. I wanted to say that. So I'm going to lay out a spread here. And this is a timeless reading. I'm not doing this for any particular time. But I'm recording this in March, so this may apply to you in March, or this might apply sometime later down the road. My guide said something about gaslighting. I don't know what that means. I don't, there are certain things that I like, terms and stuff that I'm not really familiar with. I've heard it before, but I don't really know 100% what that means. So some of you may have a situation with a person in your life who's doing that. I don't know who that's going to be for you. The first thing that I'm noticing in this spread, just to jump in, we've got the Five of Cups in reverse. And the Five of Cups in reverse is, um, you know, being extremely emotional. Um, but the thing about it is, it's also getting over someone. So if you had a breakup in the past, to me, this is getting over someone, like officially, like on to kind of calmer waters. It's actually, to me, a positive card for feeling like you've reached a calmer part of your life if you've gone through any kind of difficult things where you've been like really upset. To me, this is like moving away from that. Um, the interesting thing is we do have the tower in the position of emotions, and the tower in the position of emotions is, um, you know, it reminds me of like something unexpected that causes you to have like a very strong emotional reaction, which isn't necessarily negative. Um, like the times that I've felt this way have been times where, I've been in a grief process of like somebody's passed, like when my dad passed, my grandpa passed, like when my grandma passed. I've had like these responses. Usually that's what shows up here, but we can go through the grief process for anything that's no longer in our life. We can grieve a pet. We can grieve a boyfriend. We can grieve a partner, a spouse. We can grieve the loss of something that is valuable in some way, monetarily, but we can also grieve something that is valuable just to us personally. But to me, this is like an unexpected emotional response to something. And, you might not even see it coming. Again, these kinds of things kind of generally happen like, you hear a song maybe on the radio when you're like in your car, or, something comes on, YouTube, and it just kind of pops up where you see, something that causes an emotional response. The interesting thing is that, the sun is in Aries, and it's important to remember that at this time when the sun's in Aries, because to me that's more volatile temper in emotions. Aries is a fire sign, so there might be some, you know, I always say Aries kind of blurts things out. So like unexpectedly, you might just find yourself bawling over something, or unexpectedly something might happen in your life that you're just upset about, but it passes. Like the thing about the Aries energy is it passes very fast. It goes very fast. So, again, you might suddenly be really, really upset about something, and then like 10 minutes later be okay. It just depends on your situation and who you are in the world, so and what's going on. I feel like the words getting over something is coming up here, but I also see this tower in the position of emotions, which colors the reading, so it kind of can happen at any time. I don't think it's bad though. The tower in this position to me is not bad actually, because it's just an emotional response to something, and usually, like, yeah, you might not see it coming because that's the energy of the tower, but at the same time, I feel like it's gonna pass quickly. And you may have already had like things pop up and just cause you to have like an emotional reaction to it. So, I'm reading the cards as I see them, here. I see that we have the cash. I call it the cash tree card. We have the money card. Ace of Pentacles, which I like to see. It's in the future position, so this might not have happened yet. To me, this is making money. This is, maybe accepting a cash payment for something. Anything to do with cash, could be buying and selling something, buying or selling something, sale of something. This could be, Business, having a strong cash flow with business. This could be doing well, just be doing well financially. And we'll take it, right? At this time, it's important, we'll take it to have this card pop up. It's very, very positive. Now, for some of you, there might have been some disagreements over money. For someone who's watching. We have the Two of Swords. But I feel like actually the Two of Swords is a card about like no contact, no communication. And it's crossing the reading, but it's modified by all these other things. So to me, the Two of Swords just kind of hanging out there. It just kind of feels like something's not happening, like a pause, But I feel like all this other energy it has kind of like a flow to it, has like a movement to it, moving energy. So I actually feel like this Ace of Pentacles is independent of this Two of Swords. I do. Yes, it's touching it, but I feel like it could be an independent. My guides are confirming it's an independent energy. So independently, I see the Ace of Pentacles as being a very strong positive card about money, strong positive card about cash flow, very strong positive card about business. Some of you might see your business pick up. Some of you might feel like for whatever reason you're able to manage your money better or do more with your money. It just feels, to me, it just feels like a positive energy. We have the Queen of Cups coming in from the outside. So this could be a person. This could be a person, gifting you cash, offering you cash, doing something as far as money, because it is touching the Ace of Pentacles. But again, I do feel like the Ace of Pentacles is independently kind of hanging out there with the money. So it's sort of like she might not have anything to do with it, or she might. It just depends on your situation. So like some of you, this is talking to like a parent, maybe being helped out by a mother figure, or just someone in your life. Doesn't have to be actually your mom. It could be somebody else. But I don't necessarily feel like that's going to be the case for everybody. I feel like the Queen of Cups also represents a time of transition. It represents psychic abilities, psychic awareness, going through life with a sense of trust, trusting that things are going to work out, trusting that you're going to kind of move through this transition time. Some of you have the fear that you're going to fail. Like some of you are afraid that you're going to fail, or you just have like the paranoia or fears, or you're scared that things aren't going to work out. Like I feel like there's some fears there. That's what's coming. But I also feel like this could be a person. The Ten of Swords can be a person in your life. So is that person just coming in? There could be jealousy from this person. I don't necessarily feel like this person is necessarily bad. I feel like this person just might be someone who's kind of going through a lot and is extremely like in a place of fear, or is extremely fearful. This could be you in the sense that like that might be something that you're going through. Worst case scenarios, in your head, but I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be the case where this you, it might be somebody else too. We also have the Sun card coming in. So like, it's like, the Sun card tells me that, in my other deck, it's like the card where things fall into place, where, you get the check in the mail, you get the call back on something, I don't know, like things just work out. And I think of it as a very positive energy. So I would tell you, very interesting. We've got a plane flying over here. Plane. which is confirmation of what I'm saying. I would tell you that despite any worries and fears that you may have, like any kind of worries or fears that things might not fall into place, I feel like they're going to fall into place. Because actually, literally, the Ten of Swords is a girl that's falling, and the Sun is where things fall into place. The card, so, and my guides are confirming that as well. So, feeling like things are maybe collapsing, or feeling like, everything's gone to shit, quote unquote. But then we have the Sun card. So I don't feel like it's going to always be that way. I just don't. We do have the Six of Wands showing up here. And that's in the position of your attitude. So the Six of Wands is, blood, sweat, and tears, trying to climb the ladder, trying to, it's kind of like, I've come to think of the Six of Wands as kind of like the Lotus card, where, the Lotus climbs up out of the muck. The Lotus, is really still blooming despite, all the things that it's gone through. So my advice, to me, this is very positive because that means that you're very, I would say, determined to get ahead or determined to get somewhere or to reach things. For some people, this is like, climbing the ladder at work. This could be, applying to jobs. This could be getting an offer from someplace. Doesn't necessarily have to be a job. It could be just like a partnership of some kind. It could be a romantic proposal for some, to me, because the offer could be romantic in nature. If you date men, to me, this is a Virgo male. I typically see this as a Virgo male. Could also be a Taurus. I feel like it's a strong Taurus coming through energy. Or just like a peace offering. To me, he's holding onto like an olive branch. So to me, it feels like it's a peace offering, or it's some kind of offering that he's there to deliver. He could be delivering a message of peace as well. Like, it's very, very positive. To me, this is building something too. Building something, working on something. Some of you may be constructing something, literally with your hands. You might work in construction or you might do labor. I'm seeing also like someone who is like working on, I don't know, like building something on their property, or being really proud of like maybe the house that they've built. To me, it's like being really proud of the work that you've done. I have to say, like for myself personally, that I have like 1,200 videos on my channel, and there are some of those that I'm very proud of the work that I've done, but there are some that I'm really, really proud of that I've done. And so for some of you, it might not even be just being proud of like a job that you're doing. It could be videos that you're making, art that you've made, anything in life that you've done that you're proud of. To me, that's showing up here. This is pride. This is like, I don't know, being proud of maybe making a nice home for your family, or, providing for your family, or buying something nice. Maybe it's a new car, or maybe it's a new whatever for someone, for yourself. It's being very proud of the things that you've done, but also of how far you've come and all the material things that you have. And sometimes it's immaterial. I'm also seeing like my YouTube channel, like, it's not a brick and mortar thing. So some of you just might be proud of the things that you've done. It doesn't have to necessarily be attached to any job or any money. But to me, the Six of Wands, it has a very earth solid feel to it. So for some of you, this could be being just proud, of the home that you've made for yourself, or the life that you've made for yourself. To me, this is coming really far. It does. When I think of coming really far, I think of Sagittarius. I think of Sagittarius. To me, they go the farthest. They're it's like they're the they're the shooting star people, the people that are burning so brightly. It could also have like some of you may have also Aries or Leo in your chart where you have a lot of energy and you've come really far from where you've been. And there's a sense of pride in that as well. We have the Six of Swords as the outcome. And the Six of Swords as the outcome is positive, a very positive card about sleep, about rest, about peace, about freedom from worry. To me, this is like a freedom from worry card. No longer being hounded by maybe collections agencies and debts and contracts and all kinds of stuff. To me, this has a card has a sense of freedom to it, which I like to see in any reading. But to me, it's you can see these crows down here. You can see these crows. There's one that's touching the wing here, but that crow isn't doing anything. You can see like in a magical world there would be space, so it's kind of like a near miss for some people. Being really lucky, moving out of a time though of hardship, moving out of a time of struggle, moving out of a time of worry. This is all the Six of Swords. This is what this card is about. So for some of you, that's what's happening here, moving away from that. And I literally just pulled one of it's not a tarot card, but it's like a moving card. So some of you like maybe considering moving or wanting to move away from this time of, it's like you might have a lot of peace from or freedom from worry, because maybe for some of you, you're no longer going to be living where you live, or you're going to have this sense of peace. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to, move away. I feel like for some of you, these are two separate things where it's like, maybe you're finally getting sleep at night, or maybe if you have kids, they're sleeping through the night, you're getting more rest, you're feeling more grounded, you're not worried about them. Parents can go through a lot with kids. I think it was Heidi Klum that said, she was just happy if, there was one day where one of her kids, where her kids weren't sick or injured, And I remember as a child, I have two siblings that, as a child, that was pretty much true. We didn't get sick a lot, but we did get injured quite a lot. We were always outside, playing around and being kind of wild. So I have to say that, as a parent, if you're dealing with the children at all, little kids, going through teething, then they're going through potty training, then they're going through like adjustments at schools and all the crazy stuff that's going on with schools right now. It's just like, constant worry about children. But if this card comes up, that means that you've come out of that phase, or one of the phases that are the most challenging for parents. Being a parent is hard all the way through to the very bitter end. But I think that like, to me, this gives like a little bit of a reprieve, or a little bit of like a freedom from worry. It's mainly the freedom from worry. That's what I see this card as, but I also see it as being a card that's about like stress relief as well. Let's see. There's this very strong, I don't know if I want to say Renaissance vibe, or like it's not Game of Thrones. What is it? Lord of the Rings vibe. Some of you might do like some, I don't know, kind of, you might really get into that. I don't know how you get into that. Like some people, like they dress that, they dress the way they did in certain time periods, or you may have had certain past lives, maybe in the Renaissance, or in a kind of at a time where it was very Game of Thrones, or it was very Lord of the Rings kind of. I feel it's just I want to say the Renaissance, but it doesn't have to be. Could also be like in like Scotland or Ireland or someplace like that too. Um, this could also be ancestors that are from, you might have very like Nordic, I want to say Nordic ancestry, or like Scottish ancestry, Irish ancestry, that's coming through. To me, has a very strong, like old world vibe. That's a word that I'm getting. It's like an old world vibe. It's funny because the world is showing up, have the Wheel of Fortune showing up, and I'm just getting these energies from these cards, with this reading. And sometimes things come through like this, and it just depends on the reading. But to me, it's a very old world vibe. So you might have some guides, that were very old world, or you might have some connections there, to like the old world. That's what I want to say, the old world. Just a different kind of lifestyle or thought process or perspective. I actually feel like for some of you, the way it's gonna kind of go, because to me that I see like there's like a story here for some of you. I feel like the story is gonna be where you're moving away from I don't know, from like a life that you've been living for quite a while, or like a phase of your life that you've been in for quite a while. And it's going to feel like because we have the worlds here, that you're living like a whole new life. It's almost like push a button and you're starting a new life. You're going to be starting a new life. So some of you, because we do have the Death card here showing up, and that to me is times of change, transition. I do want to say here too that this is coming through. It's interesting with the Queen of Cups. To me, the queens are gay. So some of you like that are watching, or someone that's watching, might be gay and maybe thinking about going through the trans process. I don't know, or are considering maybe like reconstructive surgery or things like that. I feel like for some of you, it's just you identify as being gay or lesbian, and like that's one thing, and then we also have this transformative element. So for some of you, it's your life is, you're going to be starting like a whole new phase of your life, or you're going to think back at this time when you're watching this, like this was your old life. This was your old life, and my guides are confirming this. So like you're going to think about you're going to be thinking about this time differently later. Yeah, that this was like your old life. And the new life to me feels very positive. It actually feels very romantic, actually. So for some of you, it's like, I see all these like blossoms. I see these, and again, this is lotus blossoms, going back to what I said about the lotus. These blossoms here, and we have these blue roses down here, which don't necessarily mean, like, I associate the color of blue with cold. Like, you might have had a relationship that's gone cold, or that you might have gone through a period of time where romance was dead, and I read for a lot of clients. So, everybody has different perspective. There are some people who really are interested in romance, and then there's people that are really not, and they don't care. There's people that go through long periods in their life where they don't have sex, or they don't have relationships, or they're not interested in romance, or it's not a priority. So it's going to depend on where you're at with things. But I think that there's something about romance kind of going cold. So you might be in a relationship where, there wasn't much romance anymore. Maybe there started off to be, but now there really isn't. And that can happen. I mean, that's very common. So it's not unusual. And then there's, the thing is that I feel like you're going to be kind of outgrowing any kind of phase where romance was not part of your life for some. And I feel like you're going to be outgrowing a relationship where the romance has gone cold or gone stale or is no longer there within a partnership. I feel like for many of you, the romance is going to like I said, kind of blossom. You know, to me, the blossoming thing is very springtime. And I don't know why I get emotional talking about this, but like last spring, I formed a relationship with this apricot tree at the garden. And I brought some of the branches that like one of the gardeners had cut into the house, and I put them in some water, and they bloomed last spring. And last spring I was very much in love, and I associate love with springtime, and like it's a blossoming, and I associate love with that apricot tree, because I felt like an emotion from that apricot tree. And it's hard to explain, because for some of you who may not really understand how love kind of works, I didn't really understand what love felt like spiritually until I opened up a rose. It was a white rose. I got some roses, and I was cutting it to make this tincture, medicinal tincture. And I was opening up the petals, and all of a sudden I felt all of this energy coming towards me from the rose. And I was like, that's what love, the energy of love feels like. And then later in time, I felt the same energy coming from my neighbor's dog, who I've talked about before. He was a retriever spaniel mix. And I became very much attached to that dog because I felt the same energy that I had felt from the rose, from the dog. And so I knew that the dog had love for me. And I knew that the energy from the rose was love. And so when I felt the energy from this apricot tree, I knew that it was love. It was like an energy of love. And so to me, there is definitely, like, right now in the Northern Hemisphere, there's this positive spring energy, and you might fall in love. I'm going to just say it. I feel like some of you are going to fall in love. Now, does that mean, everyone needs to run out and start dating if you haven't started dating? I feel like I usually tell people this, that you can really meet someone at any time. You don't have to necessarily work really hard at it. But I definitely feel, and I encourage people to put themselves in situations where they're not just at home on the couch. Because if they're at home on the couch, most likely they're not going to meet someone unless they show up at your door somehow. And most likely if somebody shows up your door somehow, then the person that's showing up your door is not going to be in the mind space or be thinking about dating you. They're going to be showing up doing whatever. Maybe it's the UPS guy, or maybe it's the FedEx guy. Who knows? You can meet people anytime. But I usually tell people, you kind of have to be out there, and you need to put yourself out there. I feel like some of you are ready for love, and then others are not. It's just going to depend on where you are in your journey and on your path. But I feel like some of you are going to be falling in love, and some of you are just going to be coming out of a phase where love wasn't a priority, or love wasn't a factor in your life, or love wasn't something that you even really understood, because people don't even really understand what love is. So I associate the apricot tree with love, and I associate springtime with love. And last season, like, I took pictures of that apricot tree, and I took a video clip of that apricot tree, so you can see it back in my feed. If you want to check it, you'd have to go back. This is on Instagram. I don't think I posted it here on YouTube, but yeah, it's very, very, very positive energy. So I see that, to me, the wheel, I don't know if you can see that there's spokes on this wheel, and I see this as kind of like a dial. So I feel like the wheel's going to turn, the dial's going to turn, where the love vibe and the romance vibe is really going to get amped up. For some of you, and others, again, others, I feel like for some of you, there is a coldness that I'm seeing. It depends on who you are, like, and it depends on your situation, but like that you might meet somebody who really melts you. And to me, that's the positive energy of like springtime. It's like the melting, the thawing of the coldness. So like some of you, it's someone who melts you, that kind of melts your heart, or it's this warmth energy that kind of brings you back to life, or this energy of meeting someone that inspires you, or that makes you want to do things. I met this guy, actually. This was like a while back when I lived in Omaha. After the man that I had moved there for had passed, and he had, he had asked me like what I was looking for in a relationship, and at the time, I think I told him that I was looking to be inspired. you know? And the interesting thing is that the guy that I was talking to really had a very set schedule. He didn't really have things in common with me. So like we didn't have common interests. He did a lot of games and whereas like I to kind of go out for a walk, he would stay home and do his gaming. So it just is like differences in that that relationship, but I'm using it as an example because it's important, I think, if you're dating, to find somebody who inspires you, to find somebody who who uplifts you. It's like the upward spiral. I'm always kind of talking about the upward spiral. Like if you're with someone who's just like, I don't know, like not really proactive with their life, or like they're not really trying to do anything or go anywhere or think about anything, then it's going to be really hard to be inspired, and it's going to be really hard to feel the love energy because you don't really have that inspiration. So I think inspiration is a key point in romance, honestly, because you could date 5 people, but if you don't have anything in common with them or they don't inspire you, then the relationship's not going to last. It's going to be physical, maybe it might be intellectual, some a lot of relationships become material, but then there's no emotion. It's just material. It's just who's paying the bills, and it's an for room and board, and it's not inspiring. So I don't know, my hope for those of you who are watching is hopefully you find somebody who inspires you. And if you don't have somebody that inspires you as a partner, then it's time to really think about that. But I think like the energy of romance is really going to be dialed up for many of you that are watching. I do want to see if there's anything else here, and then I'm going to end this reading. I'm looking at my little tarot card that I made, and there's something about like needing to clean up your diet, avoiding wheat or diets that are heavy in bread or carbs, that's coming up here, and in dairy. Some of you might have a wheat and or dairy allergy. I would just, maybe cut it out of your diet and see how you feel. And then, go from there. I can't really say, there's not really much else that wants to come through from this other deck. I do see that for some of you, you're going to be getting things that you wanted. So, which is something like, it's hard to really explain. It's going to be different for everybody, but like say there's something that you really wanted. I feel like that's going to come to pass. I can't say that it's going to happen in April or March. This is a timeless reading. So I would say I would anticipate or expect that things start going your way. It's a very positive energy, very positive outcome here as well. So I feel like if you've had any things that have kind of maybe felt like if you felt blocked in the past, I don't see any blockages here in this reading. So that's a positive thing. If you have felt, like I said, worried about a lot or stressed about a lot or fearful, I feel like that's also changing. I feel like the energy is very green, it's very pink. There's a lot of happiness. There's a lot of joy in this reading. It's very positive. Mm-hmm. I feel like some of you are going to hear back from somebody maybe that you haven't talked to. I feel like you're going to cry. Like I feel like that person is going to make you cry because you haven't talked to them. I do feel like some of you you're going to hear from people that may need maybe your advice. So maybe you're a counselor, or maybe you do something like what I do, or maybe you're another reader or another psychic, or you have clients that call you for things, or maybe to book things. I don't know. There's all different kinds of businesses, So I feel like you're going to be very busy with clients, customers, at this time. But to me, there's like a freshness here. There's a freshness with this energy. So again, what I'm talking about is, and again, some of you may be finishing up a cycle and starting new, or you might have started new and be looking back on kind of like the past and saying, okay, that was like an old cycle. There's just something about starting fresh here or needing to start fresh, start over. To me, it's a blessing. Anything where you start over is a blessing. I think this is where I want to end. Did anybody have any questions? Oh, I didn't see this. Let me see. Hi, Lena. Hi, Amber. Thanks, guys, for watching. Oh my gosh, there's all this crazy stuff in the chat. It looks like there's this one person that said that that what I'm saying is spot on, where you kind of pushed a button, there's a new light. Amber's asking if I'm doing individual readings, and I am still offering private readings. If you want to book a reading, you need to send a payment through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Those links are in the description box below. The 30 minutes is $77.77. 45 minutes is $88.88. Did I answer? Is that was the question you're asking, Amber, I think? Or maybe you're wanting to know what this reading was. This reading is a general reading. Okay, so this reading, I wanted to really, pop on YouTube today. I don't always get to do these early in the day, which I try, but, I don't know. I get kind of like mornings for me. I'm not the best morning person, and I get really sidetracked with a lot of things in the morning. And so it's hard for me to like get fully ready to do a reading in the morning. I'm not always like clear in the morning. So I typically, when I do my private readings, I do private readings in the afternoon or evening. Okay, so yeah, Amber, yeah, this reading is a general reading. So If you wanted a private reading, you could book one with me. This is kind of just an example. Some, with the general reading, some of it may apply, some of it may not. The whole take what resonates thing, I tell people all the time, the thing about readings is that energy can shift and change. And a lot of times you don't know like what, is going to come to pass later in time. And when I look at these readings, my Celtic cross spread especially, things have not yet happened. So for instance, we have this Ace of Pentacles card, which is in a future position, which means it may not have happened yet. Sometimes people resonate with things immediately, and then other people may not. So Ace of Pentacles is I call it the cash money card. That's in the immediate future. But immediate future is not necessarily today. Immediate future could be tomorrow, could be 3 days from now, a week from now, 2 weeks from now. Usually immediate future is not like too far out, I would say probably within a month, but again, because it's a general reading, could happen fast. It could be happening today, like literally today, later today or tonight, tomorrow. To me, that's immediate future. But I also feel like for some of you, because, it hasn't happened yet, it could be delayed. We have a Mercury retrograde coming up, and things in life can get delayed. Things can get stuck. Although I have to say, this is like the first reading I've done in a long time where I haven't felt that there was stuck energy. So I feel like we have positive Aries sun right now, which is helping things move forward, which is helping the spring energy move forward. So no matter what, I feel like collectively we're moving forward. That's the energy. So some of you may or may not feel that. Okay, we're going to report this. Okay. That's good, Amber. Amber says she feels like she's healed a lot recently, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I feel like actually the interesting thing, because we have this Five of Cups in the reverse, to me that is healing. So I don't know if Amber, you caught the beginning or where I was talking about the Five of Cups in reverse, but the Five of Cups in reverse is about moving on to like greener pastures. It's like moving away from the I don't know, from the crap. Dealing with the crap where you're unhappy or you're upset. Or like, and also I have to say it's taking positive action steps too. Because in the Five of Cups in the upright, to me, is about being overwhelmed and like feeling like brokenhearted or like waiting for your ship to come in. But in the reverse, to me, it's about taking action steps. It's like, taking your power back and be like, I'm going to do me. I'm going to take care of me. I'm not going to worry about what's going on over there with that person. It's setting some boundaries, which I like to see. Boundaries is very positive. Yeah, I do feel like some of you, pull a card just to see about this other energy. We have this Three of Swords, which is kind of clarifying what I'm talking about. So some of you may have broken up with someone or just trying to get over someone. And I feel like you're going to, that's the energy that's present here. Yeah. There's someone that's married and looking for another future spouse, which I find endearing. I find that it might not be anybody in the chat, but I feel like someone that's going to be watching later, is married and looking for another future spouse while they're still married. That's good. Amber says she's taking her power back. That's good. Baker says that he got rid of anything and went and went to South America. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if people start to really shift. You know, we have this Pluto and Aquarius energy. I've seen that before as like a theme. So I wouldn't be surprised if people went up and left and did something more radical or something more progressive, or they just got fed up and they're like, you know, F it. Because here's the thing, like when we think about like the Piscean energy, like if we're going around the astrology, the Pisces is, you know, the end of the line. Things start over because we have the world here. And to me, the Pisces is like, okay, F it, you know, I'm done with something. To me, it's the final straw that broke the camel's back. It's the final, you know, whatever. And it's because to me, the Pisces is the elderly person. It's the person who passes away. It's the end. But you know, end always leads to new beginnings and new life. And to me, the Aquarius is the water bearer, is the you know, the giver of life. Is that okay? I'm going to take that fuck it energy from Pisces. I'm going to go and do something different. And usually the Aquarius energy is very different. Most people are not ready for the Aquarius. They don't even understand the Aquarius. Aquarius is the enigma. So we got Pluto that just moved into Aquarius. And that Aquarius energy is going to be very present with the new, people are calling it like the new world. And going back to what I said about the new world, it's very hard for me to fully grasp the whole new world energy. I personally think that we are constantly in a process of understanding our reality, constantly in a process of understanding or restarting our life in some way. We're constantly in some cycle. We're constantly working towards soul growth. So in some way, a new world happens every day. Um, there's other things that I could go. I don't want to kind of fall down the rabbit hole. I could probably fall down that rabbit hole really fast if I wanted to. Let me see if there's anybody else that said anything. Um, I think I want to end here. I appreciate you guys for commenting and sharing your stories, and I'm glad this resonated with you guys. If anybody wants to book a reading, like I said, all the links are in the description box. Links PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all that's in my description box. I'd love to, you know, do some private readings for you guys, and that way I could get like more specific. I always feel kind of strange interacting in the comments because I feel like readings are so private. So I appreciate Amber sharing her story and Baker sharing his story, and yeah, you know, because it's just personal. I feel like readings are private, they're personal. I don't know. That's just my feeling though. Um, did anybody else have any last questions? I just want to say, Lena, thank you so much for continuously being supportive and showing up for my live chats and my readings and stuff. I appreciate it. So yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it so much. I'm gonna head out here. I will be most likely recording a pick a card reading for the road less traveled, which is a continuation of my video that I did about the road less traveled and what I saw for the timelines. The timelines, I believe, are going to be changing. Well, they're always changing and shifting, but what I kind of meant to say was the timeline that I think everybody needs to kind of shift onto is the road less traveled. And I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading to see how that really applies to people at this time and how they're going to be shifting onto that timeline if they're willing to shift onto that timeline. The road less traveled is the timeline in which I believe is going to lead to the survival of people on this planet, a more positive life, a healthier life, a vibrant life, a life that they're proud of, that they want to live. So definitely keep an eye out for that pick a card reading today, tomorrow. Hopefully I'll post it soon. If you guys want to donate, all donations are appreciated. Thank you guys so much. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. Talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. Bye, guys.